also my first time doing an interview with two people. So
Really?
yeah.
Well, here we are. I love it.
So I would like to begin with Sydney, your turn.
Sure.
With like a little introduction, even though Sydney, you already have been a part of my fan page before, but still of you both.
Sure. So my name is Sydney. I grew up in Florida. I started doing theater when I was a kid, and then I went to acting school in Oklahoma. Then I moved to New York. I've been kind of all over, and I just recently moved to California, and I've been doing verticals since last, I want to say August, I think was the first one I ever did. And then I think I've done like maybe 20 by now or something. That's 17, 18, 19, 20, somewhere in that range, I think. And then yeah, so this lots of villains, and this is was my first leading lady role. So fun stuff. Hoping for more nice content. Not that I don't love the villains, but you know, it's nice to switch it up every once in a while. But yeah.
You, Ellie.
Yeah, so my first time on with you. Thank you so much for having me. I feel like I already know you because I've watched so many of your videos. So it's crazy that it's our first time actually being face to face. But a little about me. I was born, I've really just been in the Midwest. Like, I was born in South Bend, Indiana. Then I moved to Ohio, and I'm actually in Ohio right now.
Yes. That's
That's
cute.
crazy. So I guess he's my not so little brother. But well, now he's in Texas. My sister's in North Carolina. I'm in California, but I'm visiting here right now. And I've been in LA for 5 years. And it started off during COVID. So I had kind of a rough start. And kind of eased into the acting world as things started opening up and productions got back, and did some background work because I kind of wanted to just get a feel for, you know, what it's like to work in Hollywood, like Paramount, Universal, Warner Brothers, the Sony lot. They're all right, like in the same vicinity. So, you know, I always say I recommend to any actor just starting out to do background like 4 different shows going on there because you get a really good experience. But yeah, I'm veering off. But yeah, so I started off with that, and then verticals came about for me. Was it already a year and a half ago? It was January 2024 is when I started. And I've
Wow.
done about the same amount as Sydney.
Whoa.
January. Wow. You got into them early because I feel like I don't know, the first one I ever saw, I feel like was only like a month before. Like I'd seen them like on the breakdowns maybe, but the first one that I saw like online, I remember it was one with Jared Harper, and God help me, I don't know who the girl is, but it was the giant one that was on Real Short, like billionaire husband. I mean, you know. But
Double
what
Life
was
of
it
My
called? I don't know.
Billionaire Husband.
I think it was that one. And I was like, what is this? And I was like, wait, why do I have to keep clicking though? I'm kind of gonna watch it. And then like literally right after that, I remember getting my first vertical audition from Ring Yang, who was casting in New York at the time. And I booked it and I was like, yes. I was like, wait, I get to call out of work. Like this feels so special. And then I did that gig, had a blast on it. And then right after that I booked Made for My Nemesis, which blew up. And that right after that I quit my job. Like I quit. I was working at Saks Fifth Avenue and I was like,
Hey.
I'm done. I was like, I'm done. And I quit. And because my boss was like, you don't have any more PTO. And I was like, sorry to tell you, but I'm gonna leave this job. And they were all like, what? Because I was booking other stuff too. Like for some reason, I just like was really, really trying because I did not want to work in that job anymore. And yeah, verticals like low key changed my life. Like,
Yep.
so here we are.
Yeah, I feel that. For me, I was working like a 9 to 5 remote job, and with PTO, it's like you only have so much, right? So I would only take off if it was a big gig, right? And after a while, I was kind of traveling so much that every time we'd have a Zoom call, they'd be like, "Where are you now? Where are you now?" I'd be like, "Oh, just like in the middle of the desert in Joshua Tree," or "Oh, just in Tulum."
Oh
And
my God.
after a while, like they did company layoffs, and yeah, they finally laid me off, and I kind of saw it coming. I was kind of waiting for it because then I was able to get unemployment. So I got unemployment for like a decent amount of time, and about a month after I got laid off, I got my first vertical. So it felt like the stars kind of aligned because otherwise I would have had to go back to that type of job.
Yeah. Weren't you just in China too?
Yeah, I'm still jet lagged.
Oh my gosh. When did you get back?
5 days ago, I think. So my brain's just not fully functioning yet.
Oh yeah, that's a big time difference.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, highly recommend though, like it's worth it.
I do want to go, but the flight is so long. I'm like scared. I don't like flying at all.
Well, you
But
went to Turkey.
yeah, but that was only like 10 hours from New York, and that was the longest I'd ever flown, like ever. Like, and I was like, this is crazy. But then, like, obviously, I had an amazing time in Turkey, and I was like, okay, like, obviously, I have to go back because I love these people so much. But like, um, but it was still like that flight it's a lot for me, especially like sitting. They tried to put me in a middle seat my most recent time on the way back, and I was like dealing with some bowel things at
Oh
the time,
no.
and I told the girl next to me, and I was like, "Hey, Chica, like, I don't know what to tell you, but I can't sit in this middle seat." And she was like, "It's okay, we can switch." And I was like, "Thank you so much." Like, it was so embarrassing, guys. It was so embarrassing.
Oh my
I
God.
was like, my stomach was in shambles. I was like, I'm gonna have to get up every 5 minutes, just so you know. But it was like, I will not do that again. I will not be placed in a middle seat on a flight that is longer than 5 hours because
You
that
need to
is,
know.
and like stretching your legs and like getting up and like it's just, I don't know, it just feels like torturous a little bit. I was just like, also the seats on Turkish Airlines are like this close together. So
Really?
literally like I was like putting my feet in the air, like I was literally like putting my feet like in the aisle, but then like people kept walking by and there was a man like just like snoring so loud, like it was scaring the kids beside me, like it was crazy. Like when we were like, oh wow, like the kids were like, why is he snoring so loud? Why is he so loud? And I was like,
That's
oh my,
so bad. I
I
know
was
in
like,
your head you're like, I'm never gonna do it again, but then like find yourself 2 months later back on flights.
I'm just like, what Tess told me she paid for business class the last time she was on the flight. And I was
I
like,
looked into that, yeah.
it's like $1,000, but like, is it worth it for comfort? I
Maybe.
don't know. I don't know.
Like
But
if you go up to people in business, they're just like, laying flat. They're just like happy. They're just
they're
passive.
so happy. They literally look so happy. I'm like, gosh, if I only had money. Oh my
I
gosh.
think about it every time. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Anyway, have you flown a super long flight, Sonny?
No. I think the
Not yet.
longest I traveled was like 8 hours to Paris for Disney in a big
Oh.
giant bus.
In a bus?
Yeah.
That's
Oh
wild.
my gosh. 8 hours in a bus? That's crazy.
Yeah, that must have been really beautiful, though.
And with like dirty people.
Wow.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
not, I feel like that's not terrible, but it's still like, that's a long, long trip. But Paris sounds fun. And
Paris is
Disney,
a lot of fun.
oh, I've always wanted to go to France. I'm like a little bit French, so I'm like, I want to see like where my roots are. And obviously it's like the fashion and everything. Like I need, whew, I love the fashion I do. So
Yes.
I gotta see it.
Yeah.
But
Then you need to come.
Were you there a long time or just a few days?
4 days.
4 days. Okay, that's a good amount.
wow. Oh, the travel itch is like, I'm like, gotta travel. I gotta go. I gotta go.
I know, like itching to travel.
It's so good. Like I think I mean holiday travel. I don't know if do you go home for the holidays? Do you guys go home?
I haven't been home since the holidays. Like this is my first time being in Ohio since the holidays. So
Mhm.
yeah, like that's always like the
Wow.
cycle of when I know it's very rare for me, and it's because of the verticals. Like usually I'll
Yeah.
book like 4 or 5 times a year, but I've just been booking them like at least once a month. So
Yeah.
there just hasn't been time. So it's kind of bittersweet because I'm happy that I'm booking, but also it's weird to not go home for so long.
I'll just like go home like intermittently. Like I'll be like, because I went in June for my birthday.
Yeah.
Because I think, and then I booked a vertical on my birthday, and so
Hey,
I was like, okay, work, okay, work, and then I went to I think that was the start of the no, it was still starting, but I remember there was like a period where it was like June was my birthday. I was in Florida, and then
Mhm.
after Florida, I went straight to San Diego. I or wait, yeah, I think I flew directly into San Diego, did a gig there, wrapped the gig, immediately drove to LA, like the night of my friend Lakin's movie premiere, went to the premiere, immediately went to the vertical prom that same night. Then everyone was like, Sydney, how are you here? Because like obviously I lived in New York at the time. And I was like, guys, like I had to show up for prom. Like, but I was like obviously already like kind of in town. And then I stayed in LA for like a week or 2 weeks longer than I thought because people were like, stay for the fourth, stay for the fourth. And I was like, okay, I'll stay for the 4th of July. I stayed for that. And then I messed up my neck the day I was supposed to
oh
fly out
no.
to Atlanta for my next gig. And I literally couldn't turn my head to the left. And I was like crying. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, and my friends had to like drive me to the freaking urgent care. And then they gave me a bunch of Xanax and they were like, you'll be fine. And I was like, so drugged out. And I was like, this is crazy. I was like barred out because of my neck, and then it like eventually like went back, but it was kind of scary, and I'm kind of scared of that now because my mom has a lot of neck problems. And
Oh no.
um
That's
after that
a plane.
then I flew out. I was literally at the airport about to fly to Atlanta again. I was like at the airport, and I get a message, like I get an email from production, and they're like, oh, you actually don't start until Monday. And I had a mental breakdown and I was like, I can't fly. I can't fly today. Like, and I called my mom and we got in a fight over the phone. And I was like, I'm just tired of the airport. I'm tired of traveling. Like, I just want to be home. I haven't been home in 2 months, like, blah, blah, blah. Or a month at that point, I think. And then I did go to Atlanta, not that day. I literally spent $50 on an Uber and then had to get a rental car
Yeah.
and went all the way back to my friend's house. And I was like, I don't know what to do, guys. I'm struggling. Then I went to Atlanta. I filmed this preacher one. And then after the preacher one, I went back to New York for one day and then went to Turkey the next day for the second time. And then after Turkey, I went also, I was supposed to go directly to Florida, but I had an airport fiasco the day coming back. And I was like having a panic attack because my flight got delayed and then I was supposed to miss my connecting flight.
Oh my
So
God, nonstop crazy.
Uma was like on the phone with me trying to talk to the people at the airport, and I was like, please talk to them because like obviously there's a language barrier, and he was trying to help and the people were being so unhelpful at the airport, and they were like, we're not allowed to do that, we're not allowed to do that. And I'm like crying my eyes out. I'm like, please just help me, like please. Finally, like I had to exit the airport, come back in, I get on the plane, I end up going back to New York. I was like, guys, I'm coming home today, I don't know why. I go to New
Yeah.
York again for one day. The next day I fly to Florida, and I'm like, um, I'm there for my mom's birthday, and my friend Lauren was having a wedding. I drive to Orlando. This is all within like literally 2 months. I drive to Orlando, go to the wedding, come back to Tampa. Then after I'm back in Tampa, I was like, okay, now I'm going back to New York. My dad flies to New York with me. I pack up all my stuff. My dad flies back, and then literally like a week later, I moved to California and started our gig the next day.
Wow. I did not realize you had been through all that. Like, I knew you were coming from New York, but I didn't realize that all that had happened leading up to that.
So during our gig, I was literally sleeping on the floor with I had no mattress, nothing. I had 3 pillows stacked like this, and I was sleeping on top of them with my I went to TJ Maxx and got like well, at first all I had was a sheet, and then I got like a comforter. And so I was like sleeping in this like bundled up comforter on the ground because my mattress just wouldn't get delivered. So I was like starting this gig and also just sleeping on the floor, and I feel like I told like Tyler and Maya shows up like the last day, like she was like, "Do you have anything?" And I was like, "Not really." And she shows up with this like little gift, and I was like literally crying my eyes out, like, cause you
Yeah.
know we were stressed on that shoot. It was a lot. There were overnights. It
Yeah.
was like
Me and I had a bed to sleep in.
it was like you had the most dialogue I've ever seen, and I was just like getting my little butt beat for 90 pages, and you know it was
Emotionally taxing.
very emotional, and it was like also the overnights and like the 7 a.m. call times every day. So it was like we had to be on our P's and Q's. Like it was definitely like the time stuff is really hard for me personally, like waking up super early, and also like the overnight, like my brain is just like after a certain time, like I don't know if it's the biological clock thing, but it just stops. It's like, nope, no more. You won't do
Yeah.
anything now.
Just
You can
no. Yeah.
you can only sit and be a corpse. And I'm like, all right. So
I know. I feel like I was on autopilot for the whole shoot.
literally, no, we were like what's going on
Like
in
just
that
going through the
hospital?
motions. Yeah, because it was 2 overnights and then it was the rest of the days in the same location. And to be in the same location every day, it all just blends together. Like each day, it just felt like one long day instead of, I guess, 4 separate days, but it feels like way more
Yeah.
than 4.
And then I feel like you get home and you're like, you can't possibly memorize any lines for the next day. And so you're just like you just die. Like there's no other, you just die. Like, and then the next day you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh. Like I think I fell asleep early one day, and I woke up like 2 hours later at I think I fell asleep at like 8, woke up at like 10, and I was like, I missed my call. Oh my gosh, I missed my call. Like the disorientation. And then I was like, wait, it's still dark. Wait. And then I was like, it's still the same day. It's still the same day. And that happened to me like probably 5 times in a row within like the span of 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, okay, great. So I just am really paranoid is the issue.
Yeah, no, I would literally get home from our long shoot days. I think they would end around 8, and I'm like, I need a nap at like 9 p.m. So I'd take a nap from like 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. and then wake up to study my lines at like 10:30 just to wake up the next day at 6 or 5:30 for our 7 a.m. call time. It
Yeah,
was
that was so early.
it was really rough.
Like an 8 to 8 is like pretty nice, but like 7 to 7, for some reason, it makes all the difference. I'm like 7 to 7 is like,
Because then you're waking up at like
whatever.
6, 5:30. And
Yeah,
for me,
so
I'm
early.
just a morning person.
Yeah, I'm like a night owl.
I
But
have a bunch of questions for you about the show. And this
can't wait.
like the first episode, guys, who are watching of my newest series, The Breakdown, it's called.
Ooh,
Awesome.
I like that.
So can you tell a little bit about your characters? Starting with Ellie this
So
time, Sydney, not you.
Me
go
first?
off, Holly.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. My character was very one noted. she was honestly the most unhinged villain I think I've ever played, which is saying a lot, right? Like all of the villains are super ridiculous, but Jessica just took it to the next level. When I read the script, I don't think I could quite really even have a picture for what it actually ended up looking like. Like the part where I poured blood over Sydney's head was just absolutely one of the most crazy things that I've ever done in a vertical. And I'm sure we'll get into that later, but I just feel like Jessica took everything to the next level, but it also made it a lot of fun. And I mean, at the end of the day, she just wanted, I want to say she wanted love, but I guess she didn't. She wanted money and power. So I guess she was just like your stereotypical vertical villain, but like to the next level, which is what made her really unique in a messed up way. So that's really what the main thing about Jessica.
We love Jessica.
Yeah.
Bella is unfortunately very misunderstood for 95% of the show. And I feel like it's an interesting thing because it's like no matter what Bella says or tells them, it's like once a woman I feel like has the idea that her man is after another woman or she's already insecure in the relationship, it's over for the other girl. You're the enemy. You're the villain. And so like in Jessica's world, Bella is the villain, you know?
Mhm.
And so I feel like, which obviously in reality that's not the truth. And Bella's just this woman trying to protect her child at all costs. And thank God we also protected the child because the original ending was not supposed to be so happy. And I
Yeah,
personally, we were like, hey, can we change this? Because we just thought it would be just absolutely horrible if there was no chance that the child lived,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know? And I think we had to make it happy because it was like just 90 pages of like nonstop like, you know, turmoil and, trying to escape and getting knocked down, and then they're talking about a miscarriage and stuff, and I was like there needs to be like a miracle, like it needs to be like by the grace of God for some reason this baby like survives, otherwise there's no hope, right? And why do we watch these in the first place is because like you want to have hope, like it's a story and it's supposed to, you know through the trials and tribulations you prevail. And I think like, you know, Bella obviously doesn't want to fight back. And I think I saw a lot of comments being like, why isn't she fighting back? Why
Yeah.
isn't she fighting back? And I'm like, I think it's because like she doesn't want to stoop to their level first, but second, like she's got a baby to protect. Like she's like, I gotta I gotta shield myself. I don't want to fight back and potentially make things worse. Like I gotta shield this baby that I'm protecting. Like, and like I've never been pregnant in my life, but like I can only imagine like if I ever do, like the kid over me, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's a new life, you know? And it's just it's such a horrible thing to like have all these people just be beating on this pregnant woman that like obviously we know didn't do anything wrong, but like in their eyes she's disrupting their whole like family and the everything they've worked so hard for. And so like you have to try to find like the reasons why they're doing this and the truth, even if it is like an outlandish kind of thing. Like you have to find the reasons why they're acting this way. Um and poor Bella tries to tell them the whole time. She's like, no, like it's my brother, I swear. But it's like it doesn't matter. And Dave takes so freaking long to get there. What the heck, Dave? Like
He takes like a helicopter in. So
he's like
ridiculous.
in the car. He's like, this isn't gonna work. I'm getting in a helicopter. It's like, Dave, you should have stayed in the car. Like your boy got there before you, Dave. Come on, man. Like get it together. Like but
100%.
craziness. Anyway, Bella's a sweetie. She's misunderstood, and she's the type of girl that will do anything to protect her little baby. So, yeah.
How did you guys first came attached to this project?
Do you want to go?
Sure. So Trifecta Productions, I had worked with them in May, and of course I was the villain. But she was a more low-key villain. Like, I think the worst thing she did was like splash a little water on the girl. But after the producer had come up to me, we were just talking. I think we were talking about aloe, just like clothes. And she was like, we really like you. We want to work with you again. And I was like, oh, music to an actor's ears. And we exchanged numbers and we built a bit of a rapport. And then how exactly did it happen? They had she had told me something was coming up, and I was kind of like just waiting for it. And then finally they had sent me the sides. And then for about like 9 days, I didn't hear anything. I was just like, okay, like don't jump to conclusions. But each day that goes by, you kind of feel like, okay, you might not have it at this point because verticals move so fast, right?
Mhm.
And I had also seen it posted on Actors Access, right? So at that point, when it's posted on Actors Access, I mean, thousands of actors are submitting. So I knew I was up against a lot of people. But then I got the call from the casting director, and this one just felt different. I think because it was two leading ladies, and I mean, I was still playing the villain, right? But there wasn't a number 2 guy on the call sheet, right? So I was like that number 2 on the call sheet, which was kind of excited to like take the villain to, I guess, the next level and for the villain to really be like on every page because that's usually only the lead. So it just, as Jessica was the most unhinged villain, it was also like I would say out of all the verticals I've done, like the one where I had the most lines and the most time on screen. So it really just felt like a challenge to me. And at that point I just went all out. So that's kind of how it happened. So I'm really grateful for Joanna and the team for giving me the chance to do this. They had said it wasn't even really the audition video. It was on my Instagram. I have a video from Mafia's Innocent Lover, just like a little clip where I'm like holding the knife up to the lead's neck and saying that like I'm gonna kill her after the wedding because I want her to witness me get married to her guy with her own eyes. And they said that that was kind of like the nail in the coffin. Like that's more what helped me get this role. Over even like the tape, because there's like a scene where with Bella, I'm like over you in the car and I have the knife against your throat. So I think they kind of saw it from that video in Mafia's Innocent Lover. They were like, oh, we could see you also doing this role because of that one scene.
So you also did a tape for it? Like
I did.
audition?
Yeah. Yeah, I still did an audition tape for it. But I don't know. I guess when you're like getting I would assume from their point of view when they're getting like thousands of tapes, it's like, well, maybe not thousands of tapes, thousands of submissions. I don't want to speak for them, but maybe dozens of tapes. I don't know. I guess you need like that one thing that kind of makes you kind of stand out amongst the rest because most people are good, right? So like what's gonna make you stand out? And I guess it was that tape that I had from Mafia's Innocent Lover that made them think that I could be really freaking evil and do this.
Unhinged evil.
Yeah. That's the word that keeps coming to mind, unhinged.
Yeah. See.
No limits. No limits.
Truly.
And Sydney.
Yes, so I was just doing my little thing, submitting on Actors Access, trying to be like, can I please get a lead? can I please get a lead? Can I please get a lead? And they requested me to tape for the lead, and I did. And then they saw the tape, and I think my lighting was like pretty bad, but my hair looked pretty dark. I swear to God, this is what it was. And they were like, oh, can you actually read for the villain? And this is like, I'm used to this. Like, I'll submit for the lead, and they're like, actually, used to read for the villain. So I get a tape for the villain, and I think I was in my period where I'd driven to Orlando, and or no, I think I did tape for the villain. I don't remember what happened. I either taped for the villain or I was about to tape, and I go to Orlando, and they're like, no, 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 no. I was taping. They were like, "Can you tape for the villain?" And I was in Orlando, like literally about to go to my friend's wedding. I was like gonna get an Uber in like 5 minutes, and I was like, "Oh my God, I have to do a tape. I have no setup." Great. I thought I would be fine for literally one day, but I wasn't. And so I set my phone up on like the hotel like window, and I like was in my nice dress. It was like this black dress that had flowers on it, and my hair was like straight, and I think like the natural lighting made me look like really fair and like blonde, and I feel like that's been what a lot of productions have told me is the reason why they cast me as the villain, because I had this dark black hair, and my hair is recently like back to my natural color. It's just like a lighter brown, like with some blonde chunkies in it. And so I taped, and they were like, wait, 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 wait. And I think like in I like to layer a lot of my villains, like even if they're like super one-dimensional. So I was like, it was the scene where they were like, Jessica, you can't get pregnant. And so I'm like I'm crying. Like I have no idea this is like the ending scene or whatever. But like I'm crying. I'm like, oh my God. Like, and then they message me again, and they're like, wait, 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 wait. Actually, can you read for the lead again? Do the same scene that you did before, but with the same dress and like hair that you had in the villain tape. And I was like, okay, interesting. So I did, and then I get the call like a couple days later, and they're like, we want to lock you in like for this role. And I was like, finally. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna believe it till I'm on set, because like as an actor, like I've literally signed contracts, and then they were like, oh, just kidding, after we signed the contract, which that's the part where it gets me. That's the part where I will start crying and like being upset, because like getting rejected from a role, you get rejected every single day, whatever.
Yeah.
But like doing the tape, going through the callback, like realizing that you have the role, getting the role, being like, I have it, signing the contract, and then getting rejected,
Yeah,
that's what like really hurts. You're like, oh wow, I had this and they took it away from me. And I've had that happen because they cast like a nepo baby, or like somebody that they just liked instead, and I'm like, I know they're not out acting me, but for some reason they wanted this person over me for the role, and that's completely out of my control. So it's like, for any odd reason they're like, oh well, this person is this person's daughter, so we're gonna cast them instead. And anyways, so you don't want to believe it, but obviously you're like, okay, like yay. So I'm like trying to be on like my best behavior, because like I'm a pretty like jokey person. Like usually when I'm on set, like I like to joke around like the whole time, but like this one I feel like I was way more serious than I usually am, because I didn't want to like jeopardize anything. I was just like, I have to like really, 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 not that it's unprofessional, but like my vibe on set was just completely different than normal, because it was higher stakes for me, because I obviously want to book more leads, and this has always been something I've been capable of doing, but it's really hard to get out of that hole when casting sees you one way. So yeah, it was different for both of us, because it was both of ours like first lead thing without like a guy, like, because
Yeah.
Randy was only on set what, like 2 days,
2
like.
of the days, because when you think about it, all of his scenes are really in one place, right? In the car, the helicopter, and then the end at the hospital. So yeah, they shot all of his scenes in one day, all those car scenes in one day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
It
it was
seemed like they
kind of
made it seem like he was in so much more of it than he like it felt like he was, because it was us, and then it was Ben and Tatiana and Kelton, and that was like every single day it was just like us like standing in our little lines, and then me on literally laying on the ground like this, and then blood is everywhere, and yeah, it was a time.
Yeah, you started off standing, and like by the end you're just on the
I'm
ground.
just like, well, because I'm like at that point, like I'm like, can I even fight back? It's like, no, I'm literally just like going on adrenaline. Like it's the blood loss is like I would have been dead. I think we like Googled it or something, and like in the real world, Bella would have been dead.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
Like,
everyone's like, why isn't she fighting back in the comments on Dramawave? I'm like, what do you mean, why isn't she fighting back? She's been getting kicked again and again. Like, she has no energy to fight back.
yeah, it's also like the baby, like I can imagine being pregnant, like just normally would take a toll on your body. Like imagine like almost like borderline dying and being pregnant. Like what are you supposed to do? Like I like also it's like when you're the nice girl, you're not, I mean for these at least, like in the real world, of course Bella's swinging. She is swinging. But
Mhm.
like in these, like you're supposed to be, you're nice, so you don't really fight back. That's why like the lead guy should never like hit a woman, or and I've seen some scripts where like the lead guy is being abusive to the women, and I'm like, that's not like, why do we want to root for this guy? He's not a hero. He's,
Right.
I don't care what he, if you put your hands on a woman, you're not a hero. Sorry, but like that's the what I see in a lot of these, and I'm like, that's disgusting. Like, I don't know, but anyway, the lead woman shouldn't really do that either. You're supposed to root for them. They're not supposed to be like villainous or evil in any way. But uh, yeah,
Yeah, I think you only hit me, or you kind of like pushed me one time. That was it. I think that's the
yeah,
only
This
time
was
you ever got all violent, right?
yeah.
when she was laying in the hospital bed, right?
Oh yeah, I threw the cup.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And I
Yeah,
couldn't fight back that time because Dave was there.
yeah. But it's like throwing a paper cup versus like beating a child. That's oh my God. It just sounds so. I'm like, we were all like, I don't think any of us were prepared for like the level of violence that this one had. It's definitely like the most violent script I've ever done in my life. Like
Everyone said that. Yeah, every single crew member, every actor was like, this is by far the most violent one.
this is, yeah, and I like, because I've obviously we've both done a bunch of verticals. I've never done anything like that when I was the villain. Like I'm like, all right, I've written slut on their forehead like 6 times or something. I don't know why they always make me do that. I had to make Tori Wilder eat trash in New York. That one was, that was hilarious. Like we were literally like, Tori was on the ground just like, and she was supposed to be like dumb. She had like no memory, and I'm just like getting rotten maggot pizza out of the trash and shoving it in her mouth, and I'm like, you whore, like, and she's like, no, Dante, and I'm like, get away from Dante, like, that one was wild. That one was wild, but I've never like, it was never like violent
Yeah.
assault, I think. So
Yeah. How did you feel about all of that as a viewer, seeing that?
To be honest, I have seen recently even worse one than your guys' one. So
Really?
wow, I'm shocked. Like
Yeah.
like for
a lot of it, I mean, we were all pretty disturbed on ours. Like we were trying to like keep it as light as we could, but it's also like it's hard to joke around on sets like that when it's literally just so violent and you have to stay in character. And I'm like, I'm trying to keep like, sometimes like I'm crying, like I'm using, sometimes I was using tear stick, but a lot of the times like I was crying like for real. And so like I was just like trying to stay in that state is between when they're cutting is so difficult. I'm like, can we please do it? Can we please do it? Or I'll be crying and they'll cut and I'm like, okay, like, can we do it again? Like, super quick. And I have like the perfect tear, and like, I'm like, no, like, I know it looks good. Like, can we do it right now? But then they're like, oh, we have to change this and change it. And I'm like, like, I'm just like, you're in the constant state of panic and stress. And I think it's so difficult, like, as an actor to stay in that state all day long, every day. It's just so exhausting. Like, we're working for every penny there. And then, like, for the villain, it's like the screaming and amount of dialogue. Like, you guys had way more dialogue than me. I'm just sitting there every like 30 seconds. I'm like, no, please, like, and given I'm putting my all into those no pleases and like could like dying on the ground, but it's like the amount of dialogue you have to memorize like as a villain, like I feel like is just as hard of a workload as the emotional taxation. At least because like I've done both now, and I'm like they're hard in different ways.
Right.
And I think we should demand equal pay for the villains also, because
Oh, I'm
that's
so in.
we should do that, because I don't understand why the jump between number 2 and number 3 is such a big pay gap, and
Yeah.
that's like really frustrating as an actor to have like someone like that is a lot of the times the guys do significantly less work and they're getting paid triple what you're getting paid. And
It's
that's really disheartening as like a woman, because like sure, like a lot of these viewers are watching it for the guys, and I've even seen that on some of the comments. Like I made a TikTok and they were like, where's the episode where Dave came in? I want the episode where Dave, and I'm like, it's not like Ali and I just carried the whole thing, but they're literally still looking for the guy. And I'm like, maybe they bring in some viewership, sure, but it's like without the women, there is no emotional heart and core of the story, because the man is supposed to be like just a stoic, like a lot of times they want you to be as stoic and cardboard as possible, and they're like, you're just a man, and it's just someone for women to lust over, and because that's a lot of the audience is female, and so which I'm like, we need to shift away from like stuff like that and get into stories where they are more female centric, and we have like strong women, because women love girl power too. We love strong women. We can still have the hunky guys, but I want the girl power. Where's my freaking girl power?
right.
So
I want
like
to see
I
like with like our type of cover, like our type of poster, but like we actually like each other. How about that?
yeah. Well, did
Like
you
we're
see
not
the
fighting
comments?
against
Someone
each
was
other.
like, is this a lesbian vertical? Someone like commented
I
that.
know people have asked that. Yeah. I mean,
And I'm like,
honestly,
I wish like
yeah. And I'm like, huh, has that ever happened?
No.
Has there ever never, right?
so
Little
I know someone that's
female.
about to start filming one actually.
Officially? No way.
Hmm.
Sign me up to the cast it. Just kidding.
I know. I was like, "Oh, that would be so cool." But no,
Yeah.
she starts like next week or something. But I don't, you guys know Kayla, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met
Kayla
with you, I think.
Kayla is doing the lesbian vertical.
Oh my
So,
gosh, cool.
mhm. That's my queen. Like that's my girl. Like
Oh,
um
Yeah, I
but
know.
love
I
that.
love her. I love that girl so much. She's so cool. Um
Good for her though. Like maybe
yeah.
this could be a new little niche because you know how verticals have their niches, like obviously werewolves and then vampires and maybe it could be lesbians.
And there's some gay guy ones, but I haven't seen a
I know.
lesbian one.
Yeah.
But I do want to write one. I have an idea for one that's I think would be interesting. I have a couple ideas, but I'm trying to get my first script produced first, which is Sonnet. I don't know if I told you. I wrote a vertical script about a witch coven,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to sell it right now. But it's like super girl power. It's like 5 women, and then like there's 2 guys, but like it's more about like the women, and like um I wrote it with myself as like the leader of the coven, like the lead, but it's like I'm trying to get it sold right now, and everybody loves the script, but I think a lot of these like Chinese companies aren't ready for original content yet is the problem, and they still want those tropes and the slaps and the werewolf and the CEO and the billionaire, and I'm like, I don't want that. Like I want to tell stories that are different in this vertical medium, because it's a really really accessible form of content, especially internationally, because like a lot of people don't have TVs, and they don't have the theater, but everybody's got a phone, so it's like we can tell like better written and like more complex stories. We just have to trust the viewers. Like they will watch it if we have the cast that they already love, because most of them watch like because their favorite actors are in it anyway. If we have the people that everybody loves, then people will watch it and be like, wait, like the story is actually really good and has a great message. Like people are gonna watch it. So I'm trying to get more Western stories out there, because Western audiences obviously value original content. So trying to do something with that, but we'll see if I ended up getting it sold, because it's been quite difficult
That's
thus far.
I think it's a brilliant idea. So
Yeah,
it's crazy how
totally.
difficult it is. It kind of reminds me of I think it's season 3, American Horror Story, the Coven one.
I love
It's like
Coven.
that, but in vertical form.
Yeah, it's kind of like it was kind of roughly inspired by that. Um and also because weirdly enough, I did a script that was so bad, so awful that the writer got fired halfway through. And we had a table read before every scene. All of us on set were like, guys, I don't know. And I was like, if this can get produced,
Mm-hmm.
I know I can write a script that's going to get produced. And
Yeah.
it was so weird. It was so bad that it kind of inspired me. And then I just started writing, and I literally didn't leave my house for a week. And I was literally like sitting like this, typing, 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 typing. And the first draft was done like within a week. And then my eye wouldn't stop twitching for 2 months because I was working 12 hours a day, probably more, typing this thing out. Because when I start something, I like kind of can't stop. I kind of get like obsessed. And so I was just like, oh, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this, because you don't know where it's going. At least for me, when I write, I don't like doing outlines. I kind of just like letting my creativeness like flow. And so I don't really know where it's going. I know like what I want it to be about, and I'm like, where it ends up is just like a journey that I don't know even how I'm gonna get there, and then it just ends up somewhere. And then sometimes I'll go back and change stuff, and I'm like, actually, this scene should go here, and actually I don't want this in, and actually I want these people to be like this. But by the end, great script, fully fleshed out characters, and a great message. So I'm hoping somebody picks it up because I think it has some really fantastic potential. So we'll see.
It'll get picked up. I could already see a bit of a shift. I don't know about you guys, but like the one I did, it came out in 5 days. After his affair, I slept with his best friend.
Is
Kind
that the one with Tess?
of twister to say the title. Yeah, that's one with Tess.
Yeah.
And did
That's
you?
crazy. 5 days is crazy.
Yeah, it came out in 5 days, and I think what people really liked about it is that it is borderline kind of realistic. I mean, it's a little out there, but life is a little out there, right? And as the villain, the worst thing that I did was stab her with a fake knife. Like it was a prop knife. It was kind of like a joke. The character was playing a joke. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, yeah.
Again, also the same scene in the hospital, right? Where you are in bed and she is like standing there with Casey, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Casey, and then Casey rushes in and he's like, "Oh no, like why'd you just stab her?" And she's like, "It's a prop knife." But like it was such an original idea, the premise of this. And from all of the comments and reviews that I've read, that's what people like about it. So I think we are shifting.
That's what I liked about it too. So yeah. And Sydney, I want to say one more thing to you. Keep me updated, please, because I love supporting you. You already know that, but
Wait, what was the question?
no, I didn't have a question. I said, keep me updated, please, about.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I'll keep you updated. That's the part I missed. Okay, of course I will keep you updated. I'm like, we're trying to book stuff right now. I was down with strep throat for like 2 weeks, so I'm like recovered from that now, and now it's like Halloween, and I'm like, no, I'm ready to get back to work though. So I need to get back to my tapes because I gotta pay rent. But hoping to book something soon. I think there's one thing that's not out. I have a project coming out for Net Short where I was the villain, and oh my gosh, the costumes and makeup really ate down on that one. And I think there were just some really cool scenes in that one. It was like a mafia one, which I haven't done anything like that. Um, it's with Ryan Henderson and Kaylin, and then Mario. So that one we had a fun time. Like they were really cool. And I'd never worked with Nat Short before, so hoping it does well. But I'm still trying to plug our bus story. Turn the damn bus around. Like so.
You're leading one.
Yes. Hoping for like a cute, sweet storyline the next time I'm a lead.
Happy.
Yeah. I mean,
Cause
anything compared to that will be, to be fair.
literally anything. I was like, oh well, this is a lot, but yeah, no. Then I kind of got like the Net Short one I did. I was in like literally like every scene, and it was like so much dialogue, and I was like, this is the life of the villain. You just have so much expository dialogue and you're carrying most of it, and people don't realize that. And I think villains deserve more love because the actress is doing just as much work. Just as much work, I'll tell you that. And it's also like it sucks as the villain because a lot of times you're not on the poster and they don't promote you, and the fans like really don't care either, and they like only care about the guy and like the lead girl like a little bit, and then you're like, great, like nobody like cares that I just did this whole thing and I was number 3, but it feels like I'm number 10. And
you're still on all of the days, like you're usually still working the 12-hour full days,
and you're getting paid significantly less, like
more.
Can I say
and
one
it's like,
thing?
Yeah.
And that is, you know, I care a lot, so people just see you.
that's, well, you do, but it's like that unfortunately is not the case. Like even with the way that the apps themselves like won't tag the villain, they won't promote you most of the time, like
Yeah.
they won't follow you, they won't, you know, do interviews with you even though you are just as important to the story. But it's like usually it's about the male and female lead, and they won't. It's been like that for me too. Like when Made for My Nemesis came out, Meg and Ben got like 50,000 followers on Instagram. I got 1,000. And the people that were number 4 and 5 got like 50 followers. It's just a significant jump in the way they promote you and the way the fans like care about you and promote you. So it's like it is like important to have these like leads and stuff and have them promote you, but a lot of the times the apps won't. And like it's like, you know, or the girls are just like, the guy's so hot, the guy's so hot. And I'm like, you guys realize this is a story and there are other components to the story than the guy is hot. Because that's like, I'm like, yeah, we're all hot. We're all hot. This is an actor world. Everybody's beautiful. And when you walk on set and you're like, ooh, look at you, look at you, look at you, look at you. Everybody's gorgeous. The women, the men, everybody's beautiful. Like, but anyway, I'm trying to fight up for villain rights and, you know, pay above $300 a day because that's, you know, what they try to give you every time. So yeah.
I love that. I'm right there with you.
Villain rights.
Villain rights.
Yeah.
I have a question about it later, so
Yeah.
you can. How did you guys build like your character? Did you do like a little background of a story you made yourself?
Well, for me, when I had my first phone call with the producer, she was so hands-on, or at least with me this time. I think because this whole vertical really took place over one night. So they knew that there wasn't going to be a lot of, you know, change of scenery or change of outfits to make it stand out. Rather, what's really going to make it stand out is the acting, right? So she really focused on our acting. And when I talked to her, she told me to watch actually the Chinese version that was made of this. I guess it was literally translated over verbatim. And she had mentioned like how the villain had these kind of like micro expressions. So kind of try to focus on a lot of micro expressions, which I thought was like interesting to think about, because she had also told me on Real Short, there's one called The Reckoning.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with it? Yeah, and that got like 100 million views. And that was also based off of this Chinese one. And that villain had a lot more kind of like full body movements. And I think with this, like she wanted me to watch both, but she wanted me to kind of have a balance, my understanding, like a balance of the micro expressions and then the full body movements. But what's interesting about it is I think it's also a cultural thing. I think the micro movements in the face might be more of like, I don't know, a Chinese cultural thing versus in with these verticals here, they're just we fully lean into the cheese, like with like our whole body. So I tried to kind of have like a balance of that and kind of make my own, not really copy either one, but kind of make Jessica my own, but also do what they were doing because obviously it worked. Yeah.
Nice. I feel like for me, like for Bella, they sent me the same ones. They sent me the Chinese one and they sent me the one on the plane that Blake had done. Um and I like watched like a little bit to get like the gist of what was happening, you know, and like kind of the vibe that they wanted. And I was just like I think I was just excited to like um do a character that's usually, you know, different from the ones that I usually play.
Mhm.
So like I just wanted to make her like her acting like honest, and I wanted to like keep it very true to like what would actually happen if this was happening to me. I was like, okay, like if I was pregnant, like like we were really I was trying to keep it as realistic as possible within this realm of craziness that's like so absurd that obviously it would never happen. They're not going to be beating her on the bus and people are just like, "Hey, stop. We're not going to stop." Okay. Like it's obviously that literally would never happen, but it's like if I was in this situation, I was just like thinking I was like, okay, I just have to keep her as honest and truthful as possible because like, you know, a lot of times when I do the villains, it's like you're not making fun of the character because you should never do that, but it's like with these campy ones, like it is like kind of a caricature of a person. And so you're like and a lot of times they do want them really one dimensional and it sucks because you as an actor like that's the best part of the job is getting to play. There's a reason why like when you go see a theater show it's called a play because it's freaking fun. The whole point is that you're playing around like and so when you do get to play in those moments it's really fun like and I wanted to make her honest. I wanted to give her real depth and emotion. I was like I don't really want to use tear stick unless we need the perfect amount of crying going on, but most of the times I was able to cry um on my own because it's just so damn horrible, you know? So it's like sometimes with these it's so corny and like wild. Like sometimes when they want the villain to cry, like I'm like I literally like I need a tear stick. Like there's no way I can like this is not like a progression of a real scene in which I can build up the momentum to actually feel these things with what these people are saying because like it's crazy, but it depends on the show really because sometimes I'm like I'm not sometimes as an actor you're just literally not in the mood to like go there all
All
the
day.
time, all day, every day. So you're like, yeah, give me the tear stick. I don't want to feel like, because then you get a headache and then you're throwing up from a migraine and like you know it affects your real body. The acting affects. It's not like you're acting and it doesn't affect you. Like I've done some shows where I was like, I have to go home and like just sit in silence or like
Yeah.
I have to watch memes like for 3 hours afterwards because I need to decompress from the stuff that's going on set. Like it's your real body. The panic and the real you're really feeling that. Like it's not like you can fake something like that. Um but yeah, I just wanted to keep her grounded and you know, as close to normal as I could with the circumstances and we definitely like you know, I really enjoyed doing the ending because we got to keep the baby alive, which was my idea. And
Mhm.
they, thank God, like the clients and the director were like really receptive to it and the producers and stuff. And they were like, yeah, like let's do it. And then it ended up being really a really sweet and tender ending. And I wish there was a little bit more after that because the original ending was literally like they were just like Dave goes, "Let's go home, Bella," and that's it. And the baby's just dead. The baby's supposed to die.
So
I
messed
was
up.
like, I said that's not happening. So
And props to you, by the way, Sydney. Like in that moment when they do say the baby's alive, your eyes are just showing how much it felt so real. Like that felt like such a real moment. You did a really, really good job with that.
oh, thank you.
I agree.
It's like
Yeah.
thank you. You guys are
I
sweet.
can see it in your eyes, like the relief that you felt that the baby's still alive.
I mean, just imagine like you literally are like all hope is lost, like my baby is dead. Like and then they tell you that it's not and against all odds, like you're like thank God. Like, that's the only thing. Like, when something crazy happens, people always thank God. It's just like, even if you're not religious, like when the plane starts going down, everybody starts praying. It's like it was literally like a thank God moment, like even it was just like that's the only it's a miracle. It's just a true miracle. Um which obviously it was a miracle because we convinced them that
Yeah, so part of that
this
was
had to happen.
what you were feeling, like relief. You don't even need to pretend that your baby's dead.
Yeah, literally. And that was also like it was the last day of shooting too, because we shot most of it sequentially,
Yeah.
because we had the overnights which were on the bus, and then the first day with you that I don't even think I was there, and then we had they did like the office stuff, and then we had all rest of the days were in that which one was it? Was it Surreal? It was Surreal, right? That
Yeah.
studio? We were
Yeah.
in Surreal like the whole shoot, and so we were just like, okay, it was easy to just like build the progression of what was happening, because it was just like more violence, more violence, more violence, blood dumped on the face, then we're getting locked up, then there's a needle, then we're getting thrown in the hole, and then we escape within 2 seconds. And then Dave comes. But it was like it was a progression, so we were like, okay, we're picking up from where we left off yesterday, which is like good. I personally like when it's like a bunch of changes of scenery and different scenes, because I get a little bored when I'm just in one spot the whole time. But like
For sure.
obviously this one was like anything but boring. It was just like so much, which was cool because like you get to show off the acting chops too. I was like,
Right.
you want me to cry and scream? I'm gonna give you crying and screaming, guys. But it's yeah, it was an interesting production for sure.
Very.
Yeah,
Definitely stands out to me amongst others.
me too.
Was there any specific scene that was the most hard to film, or do you guys have maybe a funny story like behind the scenes?
I think we both know.
None?
There was one moment, specifically the blood bag, and for some reason, the blood was not safe to go into my mouth or eyes or ears or anything, and I don't know why they used that one. But it we were like trying to test it out, and it was just like a weird bag, and like Ali didn't have like that much control over it, also because you have to do it in one take too, so it's also like the stakes are on. They're making her do all these like crazy stunts, and so like I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. But we dump it, it gets in my mouth, it gets in my ear. I'm like thinking this is toxic and I'm going to die like in real life, and I'm like so a lot of the fear that you see in that is like completely real, like, and so I'm like, oh my god, I'm like shaking immediately. They were like, Sydney, are you okay? And then I'm like in the bathroom like washing it out of my mouth, like shaking. I'm like, oh my god, like I'm gonna die, like thinking that this, like, obviously like I'm okay, but like it was terrifying. Like I don't know why they would use something that is going on my face or near my eyes that is like not safe and stuff. So I mean, I think they probably will never do something like that again. But it was definitely a learning lesson for all of us.
Well, they had like two types of blood, but then I guess they said the one that was edible wouldn't look realistic, and maybe like I don't really understand because it was all happening so fast, and like as actors we don't really have any say. We just have to kind of go along with it. And that was already a really high pressure day. We were about to like run out of time, and then the script said that like I ripped the bag with my mouth. So that's why the whole entire bag was like torn open, not just like a little slit, like a little hole. It was like had to come out of the whole entire bottom of the bag, which is why I had no control over it. And like I was aiming for her cheek, but then it just starts dispersing instantly right into her mouth. And I actually like broke the fourth wall at that point. Like you can even kind of see my character, instead of like being angry, I was actually more like, oh, fuck, like, because I toxic. Like, I felt so bad. And then after, I thought Sydney hated me. I really did think you hated me. I felt
No.
horrible.
No, I did not hate you. It's like, it's just like, it was like we, as actors, like you're focused on like being the best that you can in that
Mhm.
scene. And so it's like the external factors they're supposed to handle, like the props, the costumes, like blah 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 blah. Like that's supposed to be their job. And so like you are just focused on like they're like, okay, you do this is the scene, but like there's just so much happening and then you also are like, we only have one take to get this right. And it's just like the pressure is on. Like it's you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Like, but it was like I think I was just happy that I wasn't like gonna be filled with toxic waste afterwards. Cause like personally, like even if Bella's dying, Sydney would like to live personally, but like, it was just like it was a lot of craziness, like the whole time. And like everyone was a good sport and like, production was really nice and like they checked on me afterwards and stuff and made sure like I was okay. And, you know, um I think the last day like but the last few days we were just like ordering matcha and like food and stuff to the set because I feel like for some reason like having like production order you like boba and matcha and stuff like that, it boosts morale so much and it's such a small thing. But like
Right.
for me, like if they're like, oh like I got you like on the matcha, I'm like God, I'm literally like already like on the verge of having a panic attack because it's so stressful. And then they're like, here's a matcha. And I'm like, I love you. I'm like, I love it. But then like I was ordering it too, and I was like, I need this. Like the matcha, guys, the matcha gets me through. I can't do it
I
without it.
know
Like
that.
truly, I'm like, I need it. But
Yeah, because the caffeine just gives you a single jolt. Like if it's coffee, then you'll be buzzed for 10 minutes, but matcha is kind of like slowly throughout the day giving
it's
you.
so good. And it's just like the taste and it's just like oh, I'm just like I'm so comforted and like it just boosts morale so much. Like when I do my production, I'm like I'm having the PAs do a coffee run every day. We're gonna have
Mhm.
coffee and matcha every day. People, I'm like, you're gonna get a croissant. You're hungry? Yeah, you're gonna get a matcha. You're gonna get a croissant. You're gonna get whatever you want.
Matcha for
And
you, matcha for you.
yes, matcha for you, matcha for you. Like, cause I just truly think like food is such a love language for me personally too. Like, I'm like, I love cooking for people and like baking and like doing stuff like that. Cause like I don't know, it's the way to a lot of people's hearts. I'm like, here, like I made
Yeah.
you something, and like literally, it just fills you with like warmth and joy when you have like a little treat. I don't know, like it's just I like a little treat. So
Yeah, I feel like after that day was kind of a turning point. Like, wow, this is the real deal. Like, they are going through it. I mean, of course, they were too. Everyone was, but you're right. That was kind of a turning point when it came to more matcha.
no, it was. Like I was like, there needs to be more matcha. Like it's like you're like shit like what do we do like because like both Ali and I were both like I think we both had like mental breakdowns at some point on that set like
God,
it
no.
was like it was just a lot like it was
But
for
yeah,
both
yeah,
of us like
I did have a moment. Yeah, yeah.
we were both like just
I don't
like
even remember
oh,
exactly what it was. It was just like everything had added up, and it was just, yeah.
yeah it was just overwhelming. I think like it was just a lot. Like I was really grateful that I didn't have a surplus of dialogue that was like insane because like I think that on top of all of the everything would have been like extremely intense. So like it was like that one I don't think was super hard for me to like get off book for, but it was just like I was like, all right, I'm getting kicked again, I'm screaming again. I lost my voice
Mhm.
like a couple days in, which like kind
Yeah.
of works for the character,
Mhm.
because it's a progression anyway, so it made sense, but it was still like I as an actor have to go home and do self tapes. And when you lose your voice, you're like, well, this is sacrificing other jobs that I could get. So you got to make sure it's worth it. But
Yeah.
to make the screams and the cries realistic, you are like doing damage to your body. It's real damage that you're doing. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Now I
Make sure you have time to ask all of your questions. I don't want to talk too much about myself.
no, I always expected that this was a long conversation. So yeah.
Okay.
But is there next to the blood thing a memorable moment that stuck out to you on this set?
I mean, I liked the, like, story-wise, like, the ending was definitely my favorite part because it was
It's
the only, like,
also so new
bit
to
of
the
happiness.
other versions of this story. I was really happy to see that.
Yeah.
Really, that's such good news.
Yeah, and the most stories like this are ending badly with her losing the child or even dying, I think, in one.
Really.
I
Okay,
was like,
I
this
didn't watch
can't
the ending
happen.
show, so I didn't know that.
I was just like, this can't happen. I was just like, no, we didn't film another version of it, so I knew it was gonna get kept in. So I was like, thank God. Like literally, I was like, not only like it was Bella, like thank God, like Sydney's like, thank God that they're keeping this in. Because like I was like it's so, and it is a beautiful moment at the end. And like even like Blake was saying, he was like, that was like Oscar worthy. Like I literally was like tearing up. Like he was like, that was so emotional. Like it was, and um we were like, yeah, like it's like it was a real moment of like, oh, like relief from all of the intensity that we had the whole time. But I think the ending was great. I mean, I just enjoyed the moments like between takes too, like off screen, that like we're all talking and laughing and bonding and um you know, like joking with you guys and the ADs and Tyler and Maya. I have to give them a shout out because like Maya and Tyler like truly like helped me so much through that production. Like they were
Yeah.
fantastic. They were like every moment they were like, you good, you good, like you good. Like they were checking on me constantly. Like they were freaking amazing. Like shout out to them. Like everyone should hire them and have them on their set. Like
No, they were great. Yeah. For me, one moment. Well, the last day they got us an ice cream truck, which was really fun. I've never
oh my
seen
god.
anything like that on a set. Like literally, a whole ice cream truck came up just for us, and we all got free ice cream or coffee or whatever we wanted. Um, and yeah, that was a special moment. And yeah, I don't know, just the whole thing. Everyone was really nice. Like you said, I feel like people cared an extra amount on this one, like the crew and everyone. Um,
Yeah.
and I think just because it was so intense, but like the intensity of it brought us together, I would say.
Yeah. And it's like you know, we had some funny stuff too, because like Tatiana and Ben were like, Ben is like peeing in the air and like it's like oh
Yeah,
my god.
that was so wild.
I cannot
And I'm
believe
really
they
happy they
kept
showed it
that.
in the trailer too. Like people are like, "What's going on here?" But like, come
They're like,
on.
why is this guy peeing? Like, I was like, okay, well, you needed, like, it was a trailer moment, like, for sure. I'm like, yeah, why is he peeing? Like, it looked so real too when we were there. Like, I was like, oh God. I was like, it's literal pee. Like, that's so, oh gosh, it looked so real.
Yeah,
But they were funny.
they were so funny, and I almost feel like they brought that comedic relief. I mean, Ben absolutely did, no question. Like we were laughing at him the whole time. And then Tatiana, she actually brought a lot more than I had even realized. Like at first, I'm like, oh, she's just, like the really mean mom. She's doing an amazing job, but she's the mean mom. But I'm watching, I'm like, wait, she's actually kind of funny. Like she's being like mean in a funny way, right? I don't know. Did anyone else get that by watching it?
I thought they were just like a campy, like a duo. Like,
Yeah.
cause like, he's just like drugged up like most of the time and like I don't know. They were just making me laugh when they were like hijacking the bus and stuff and like he was like he comes over and they're like you weren't there for the bus stuff, but they were like there was like a girl sitting next to me and she was supposed to be homeless and he kept coming up and being like move bum and like it was just like really funny. Like I was like, "Oh god." Like we were telling some jokes that we probably shouldn't have about the stuff, but like we were like get off the bus. We were like I don't know, but it was uh, yeah, it was fun. The bus stuff was really fun actually, like and it was so late, so we were all like delusional. It was like 4 a.m. They tried to get me to do the poster after that day, and I was like, guys, I look like shit. you do not want me on this poster. It's everybody's best interest for me to not take these pictures right now. I was like convincing them. I was like, please, I look like ass. Please don't take pictures of me.
Yeah, for all of our sakes.
Please, like, but no, we were on the bus and they were like, okay, move left. And we're like, oh, and they're like, move right. Oh, we're just like crashing this bus. And then they're
Oh,
like, okay, now you go forward. We were like, oh, like it was, it was the time. It was fun. And it was a real bus too. So
Mhm.
yeah, no,
they
I'm
brought the bus in
that day.
and they did turn it around. So
They turned the damn bus around.
we did not know that was going to be the title also.
No, we didn't. Fun fact, it was Beneath the Stars and Stripes on the call sheet. So
Yeah.
how it could go from Beneath the Stars and I don't even think Stars and Stripes plural. Beneath the Stars and Stripe.
And Stripe.
And then they changed it to turn the damn bus around. So like the no correlation. I don't know.
Which I don't really think either title have anything to do with the whole story
No.
at all. Like the fire also, like there's supposed to be a wildfire in the back and it's like mentioned like twice after the bus stuff. Like after the bus stuff they're like there's a fire and then like there's like one like ad that plays. They're like the fire is ravaging things and we're just like fine. Like we're like no mention of the fire. Like
Mm-mm.
I'm just like all right. Like but
No
Beneath the Stars and Stripe, what did
verticals.
that have to do with anything?
It's literally like a fluke. I cannot even think of what that could have meant. And then turn the damn bus around. I mean, I would say the only reason it does make sense is obviously because of the bus, but then also just like say damn in the title actually makes sense with like how intense this one is. I'm like, of
I
course.
thought it was gonna be like baby burns, my brother saves me. I don't know. I thought it was gonna be like Bella's baby bump burning bush tree. I don't know.
Other who is not who I did not hook up with saves me.
Yeah, it's like I did not hook up with my brother.
I did not hook up with my brother.
Yeah. No stepbrothers here. No stepbrothers.
Did
Yeah, just blood brother.
you guys make changes to when you first saw the script?
I mean, dialogue changes for sure. Like we do that with every script though. I feel like it's like you kind of have to make it sound like you would say it. Like there are some lines like I just refuse to say it the way it's written and I've never had an issue with it because I think I'm a pretty dominating personality. I'm like I'm not doing this. Like I'm doing this. And they're like, "Okay, that sounds better." And they usually are receptive to my ideas cuz it'll be like something that's written in a way that I personally it doesn't sound natural coming out of my mouth. And that's kind of your job as an actor to like change the dialogue to be like this fits me better or hey let's not say this and then I think we took out some kicks because there was supposed to be even more violence than there
More.
was and we
Yeah.
took out a lot but it was still like it was still going.
Yeah, and Blake, the director, had already directed The Reckoning, the one on Real Short. So he already had like a round one try, essentially. So I feel like everything he wanted to do in that one that he couldn't do, he brought to this one. So that's why I think why he was kind of like, okay, we don't need that kick. Okay, this is unnecessary because he kind of already got his like trial.
Yeah.
Which is really cool that he already had that experience.
Now, I have a question specifically for Sydney, and maybe you already kind of expect me to get into this. About how it was, again, your first lead one, and what was the biggest thing you learned on this set?
I mean it was really great being able to play a nicer character like for sure like I definitely like it's a different experience you know when you're the lead and it's like your story or whatever but it's I feel like I do want to do like something that's a little more lighthearted because like a lot of the villains that I've done I have had to cry and scream too. And I've cried in a lot of the ones I've done as the villain because I like to make them layered, but it was a nice and different experience being the lead and knowing that I was on the poster and you know, knowing that I was getting paid, I like how would I say this? Like, knowing that I was getting paid fairly, for my time, and it's really nice. And then knowing that, people are gonna watch it and they're gonna promote it, and I'm gonna have all that happening. Like, it is a nice experience. Uh, but it's like, what was the second half of your question?
What the biggest thing you learned was?
What I learned. Um, I think for me, this one, like comparing it to the ones I've done, I feel like I just learned that like it's a different workload, but still just as heavy as the villains that I had done. Like the emotional, and I don't know if like a lot of the female leads I've seen haven't gone into as much depth, I feel like, as I have with the emotional stuff. But it's like the dialogue that you have, like I think I just noticed like how much dialogue like the supporting characters have, and I think they should um be paid more. Like I was just like, wow, like when I'm the villain, I'm saying way more than I'm saying in this now. And it's just like still a really heavy workload. It's stressful, but it's like also with verticals, you're shooting like 20 pages a day. Real stuff, you're shooting like maybe 4 at max. Like, and so it's like having to memorize 20 pages and they like add a scene and like stuff like that is like so much work to do, like especially when you're supporting. And like as the lead, like it was definitely a lot more like heavy lifting emotionally, but you're working for your money either way. Like I think that was the biggest thing I learned, is that it's like it is a different workload, but still just as heavy. um and I also, I learned kind of like what they want, I guess, from the leads. And it's unfortunate because like a lot of the times they really don't want a strong woman. They want like a damsel. That's kind of an unfortunate thing that I learned. But it's like there was nothing I could do with that script. Like she doesn't fight back. Like there's nothing she can
Yeah.
do. But and I also learned that I want to do less violent scripts, I think, because it's like it is a lot of violence against like women in particular, and I think a lot of people were like commenting on Dramawave. They're like, this is triggering. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it was triggering for all of us. Like we were all like, you know, it was triggering for all of us. We were all like, this is really, really intense. Um, and we were
Yeah.
trying to, make the best of it for what we could. But I definitely I think it's important to like really not have too much of that out there. Like, because obviously like things like this do happen. Like I'm sure people are beating pregnant women, and that's like a horrible reality of like
Happens, yeah.
the universe. But like and I really hope it's, this isn't somebody's like truth in China or something, but like uh you know it's I think it's important to have a happy ending also, is what I learned from this one, because I'm like, I think like we were all like, I don't think anyone's going to want to watch this if there's no hope. There needs to be a glimmer of hope. There needs to be a silver lining at the end, like something that we have to look forward to, because like if that baby dies, it's like all hope is lost. So I think like having that happy ending is important for these verticals, because like it's escapism, and like you're not really escaping if you're just watching somebody get their butt beat the whole time. So yeah.
Uh, this is the villain question that I was talking about earlier. What do you guys hope people would see differently in villains?
Well, even as the villain on set, aside from the character, I feel, at least different villains that I've talked to, sometimes, like we were saying, it's kind of hard to snap. It's not that it's hard to snap out of being mean, don't get me wrong, but it's sometimes you have to stay in that like emotional state, like in between takes. So maybe as the villain, like sometimes, or at least for me, it's hard for me to be like all like jokey and happy and smiley kind of in between takes, because I'm also trying to like keep that villain in me alive, right? And I mean like in the midst of it. So I think just kind of knowing that everyone has their process, right, for bringing their character to life, and like realizing, because maybe it's subconscious, but I swear, like sometimes when you're playing a villain again and again and again, like you don't want people to think of you as like a mean. But I think it maybe does happen a little. Like you could kind of feel it on set that people are. It's not that they're like straight up being mean to you, but maybe they think you're a little bit more standoffish because of how your character is, or you're just, the lead is the lead. They're like the nice, innocent, naive one, and then you're over here doing all of this, and I just had to keep reminding myself, like, okay, I'm just playing a character. Yeah, I actually felt like sometimes, and I know you didn't, Sydney, but it's also in my head, like I felt like you hate me for all of the beating that I was doing on you. And like luckily you have experience as the villain too, so like you could empathize with me and you know that I'm just doing what I have to do. But there's almost like this weird feeling of like feeling like you have to apologize as the villain, like I'm sorry for doing this, I'm sorry for doing that. So just like knowing that we're all just playing characters, and I think reminding people of that, because I always love when people, like, say to me, "Oh, like, yeah, you always play the villain, but, like, you're actually, like, really sweet and nice." And I'm like, "Okay, good." Like, I'm glad I get to
They
show.
always say that. I'm like, it's not like we're like, what did you expect us to be?
Yeah,
Like, did you like what are you talking about? Like people are like, wait, you're actually so sweet. But then
yeah,
like, do you ever get like hate comments? Because I get some hate comments sometimes. They're like, I hated you. You're a bitch. Like blah blah blah. And I'm like,
yeah.
dog, I'm literally doing a job that I'm getting paid for. You realize that, right? There is no story without the villain. That's what I wish people realize. There is no story, there's no driving the plot without the villain. It's just a boring story. And people are like, they don't realize that. Like, the villain is worth just as much and adds just as much to the story as the leads. Like, in Hollywood, people oftentimes like the villains more than they like the leads. They're like, oh, the lead is insufferable, but the villain was so cool. Like, blah, blah, blah. I wish there was more of that. I wish there was more of that because it's like a lot of the times the villains are the funniest people I've ever met in my life.
Yeah,
Like, something about, like, at least the times that I've done villains with people, like, we're dying laughing. Like, when I was doing a villain in, San Diego, Brian Butler is one of the funniest freaking people I've ever met. He played my husband. He was making me die with, like, one word, you guys. Like, he'd be behind me because like, vertical frame, and he'd just be like, "Yeah," and I would be, like,
yeah,
literally trying not to pee myself laughing because he was so funny, and, like, he literally had this moment where he was like, Miss Roy, like, we're about to teach you a lesson. And he started going like this. Guys, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, and so many of the villains are like so sweet and like hilarious. Like, that I'm like, I think there a lot of times like it does suck. Like, I don't think I've ever experienced like people thinking I'm like a villain in real life, but
yeah,
definitely the fans. Like, not like on set, but like I've had fans be like, wow, I'm shocked that you're nice. And I'm like,
You are nice.
that shouldn't be a shock. I mean, we're what? Like, I'm like, did you think I was actually like bullying and beating people in real life? Like, who does that? I don't
yeah. I
know.
mean, it
Like,
means you're a good actor, right? Because like
Yeah.
you're portraying what they want you to portray. But yeah,
yeah,
like I've had even in the comments on Dramawave, people are like, "Oh my God, like she's such like an ugly person," blah blah blah, and it's like they just see you differently, like automatically.
yeah. It
Which
kind of gets to you too. It's hard not to let it like get to you. At
yeah,
least for me. I'm like, they're like, you're a bitch. I'm like, actually, I'm not. But great. Okay, cool.
I know,
That's
I
because
can't
it's,
always read comments.
and
I
then it's
think
like,
I put that on myself by, like, reading comments or reviews.
it's like they're making themselves the villain because
Yeah,
then they're bullying us for
yeah,
being a villain. And
Mhm.
it's like, hey, you realize that you're doing exactly what you hate, right? By being mean to us. Like, I don't think they realize that they're being the bullies now. I'm like, you're being the bully. Like,
yeah,
this is a character we're playing. It's
I
not
agree.
real.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah, so just that's why these interviews are so good, right?
Yes.
This is again a question for Sydney, and if Wendy was here, also for Wendy, but yeah, he isn't. So, did you like, because you were playing brother and sister, did you have time to build like a bond relationship, and how did you do that?
So Randy literally was not there until the last day
Mhm.
of set for me. Like I didn't,
But you guys weren't there together.
but yeah, we had never met. So I think like we had a little bit of time beforehand, and Randy's also from Florida, and so we're from like the same area. So we were just like talking about like growing up there, and I feel like there's like usually a connection with like Florida people where like you're crazy. Like it's like there's like Florida people are just like insane. Like that's like me and Kayla. Kayla's also like from Florida, like literally like an hour outside of Tampa where I'm from, and like so it's like what you just connect with like Florida people just have an unspoken like connection. We're like, all right. So it kind of did feel like he was like my actual brother in a way because I feel like we kind of look alike too, a little bit.
I
But
can see
like yeah, I was like, okay, like I can see how this like he could be my older brother. And like I have a brother in real life, so like it's pretty easy for me to ex- draw on that experience, even though like my actual brother is my little brother, and so I kind of feel like the protector over him. Like I'm like, get away from my brother. Like don't hurt my brother. He's my little bro. But like but you just have to like again like making connections and talking with the actors beforehand and like being like, hey, like how do we get through this? And like I talked to him too about how I wanted to change the ending too, and so we just like literally added that whole ending part, like that just none of that was in there. And we talked about it with the nurse as well, and we were like, okay, the nurse needs to feel a heartbeat, or I need to be like, ah, and then she's like, wait, I hear a heartbeat, and then there needs to be something with the locket to have that closure too. And so we were like, wish mom was here to see this. And then he's like, oh, she's always with us, and then it just kind of ends because that's like really all we had time for. But it's like, um, there needed to be a moment of like sweetness and tenderness there. Uh, but yeah, no, yeah, we had like a little bit of time to chat before, but again, we were doing promo pics that day and
Yeah.
getting matcha and all that stuff. But yeah, and I think I actually wrapped early that day. I forgot there was like something I had to do after that, but I wrapped early for sure. So that was clock is going off. I wrapped early for sure, but it was like, it's weird because you have um this person that's supposed to be there the whole time that we talk about, and I don't even meet him until the last day. So it kind of was like he finally arrived. I finally get to meet this person on the last day. I'm like, my brother, hello, brother, where art thou? Like, and then he finally shows up and saves me from the, yeah. So, yeah.
So I have two more small questions and an ending one. And it is if you no wait. Did you guys watch like the final result of your show?
What was the last part? Sorry.
Did you guys watch the final result of your show?
Yes.
This was actually the first one that I paid for on Dramawave. A lot
You
of times,
paid for it?
yeah, it was only
I
$9.99 for me.
I,
Like
I
usually it's
watched it upside down on Daily Motion.
that's usually what I do. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna support this one because like I want it to do well.
True.
And also it just is better quality, like let's be honest, when you
Yeah.
hear it. So it was really fun actually. I watched it over the span of like a couple nights and just fell asleep to it. Somehow that violence is kind of calming, I guess, because so I kind of get it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It's definitely interesting always to see the edit too, because they add all like the soundtrack and like the cuts and stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, that one looked real. Ooh, you're like rough, like I don't know.
I was really, I don't want to say pleasantly surprised because I think a lot of these do really well with the editing. It's such like an important part of the process that we don't talk about enough. Like I don't even know who does the editing, like what their names are, even to give them credit. Um, but it's they have such an important job because obviously like we're not actually slapping each other, kicking each other, so, and it makes it look real. So it was just really cool to see it all come together. And this one in particular, the editing was great.
Yeah.
It's funny that you watch Dailymotion, Sydney, because I do that too.
Well, I'm just like, I personally am just like, I can't pay money to watch myself act.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can't. Like, I just can't get behind. And my mom will do it. And I'm like, that's different. Like, if it was
Yeah.
someone that I knew, yeah. But if it's me, if I'm in it, like paying to watch myself act feels like actually crazy. And I'm like, why can't they just send us the footage? Because, like, I've had like maybe one production. The production I did with Jared Harper and Sarang, their company, was the only company that sent me a Google Drive with all of the footage. And
A
I was like,
vertical?
yeah.
Really?
And I was like, thank God, because like I never get footage and I want to use it for my reel. But otherwise, like for the preacher one I just did, I played a character that turned nice at the end and I wanted to screen record that footage. So I was on Dailymotion turning my iPad around and screen recording. And my iPad has no space on it now because I screen recorded so much stuff. But like it's I'm not gonna pay to watch myself act. I refuse. I refuse. I will screen record the horrible footage from Dailymotion and beg for footage at some point, but you know,
Did
yeah.
you mean the show with Jared and Luna, I think?
Hmm.
Okay, then I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Sarang is like the one of the co-directors, and they're in charge of Awry Productions, and Sarang actually I've known about the existence of Sarang for like years because weirdly enough, he used to be a clown in New York. And I was also a clown in New York. And so Sarang is friends, and Jared too. They're both like we're from New York. They met there and they were friends with some of my best friends. So I was like, when I show up on set, like I don't think I put two and two together until I got there. And I was like, oh my God, you're Sarang. Like, oh my God, I've heard so much about you over the last like 5 years of my life. This is crazy. And he was like, oh my God, this is insane. He knows my best friend Kira and Wendell and like these people that I've like been super super close with for years and years. Like he knows my ex, like all this stuff. And like I'm like he's like, yeah, I never liked that guy. I'm like, yeah, me either. Yeah. I never liked that. No, it's but yeah, anyways, they were the only ones to give me footage, so I've been grateful for that. Even though it was a villain, and I have so much villain stuff that I don't even need a reel at this point. But it's like, um, yeah. But I did screen record my nice stuff because it's been a long time since I've got to play a nice character. So, oh,
I don't know why I froze. Could you guys hear me?
Yeah, it
Weird.
happened.
now.
It
Is
happened.
that better now?
It happened a little before too. That you were looking like this for a few seconds.
Really? That's funny. I guess my mom's Wi-Fi out here in Ohio.
Oh my God.
But as ending question, why do people need to watch your show, and do you want to say something to them?
You go.
You said why should people watch our show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should watch Turn the Damn Bus Around because it's very unique in the way that overall there's pretty much two female leads. Obviously, like Sydney is the lead, but like we said, like I am on. Can I get a redo? I don't know what to say. Let me think about my answer. Okay, scratch that. Sydney, you go first.
Okay. I think you should watch Turn the Damn Bus Around because if you see me do the villain, it's completely different from any of my other roles. I think people will see my character and performance in a completely new light, and hopefully open more doors for me. So please watch it. I also, yeah, there's 2 female leads. It was nice to not have everybody fawning over the guy for the entire time for doing the bare minimum. Oop, did I say that? But and I'm not talking about Randy specifically. I'm just mean like in general vertical guys, like even the cast and crew is like, "Oh, you're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing." And like sometimes they're low-key doing nothing. And so it's like, it's nice to have 2 uh strong women in real life be given the opportunity to shine. And like, Ali, you had some crazy dialogue and some crazy moments that were really cool, and like I had a lot of emotional arcs and stuff like that. And yeah, I think people should watch it because the ending is also different than what we intended, and so it has a happy ending at the end. And
They should watch Turn the Damn Bus Around because it's unique, and there are
watch it
2 of
because
us
we're in it.
very,
Like,
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
like watch it because we're in it. It's our first lead, and if you guys want to support us and see us do more leads, like, please support it and give it some love. And I'm gonna try to post some more like BTS just to like promote it this week, because like,
Yeah.
people are watching it. But we're all like, I think, has Randy done a vertical before this or no?
He did one, but I don't think he was this high up on the call sheet. I think
So
it was
it's everybody's first vertical lead, pretty much. So, yeah, give newcomers a chance to shine. And um, you know, give us, if you guys watch it, hopefully we'll get more stories and we can show off our acting chops and some more lighthearted stuff, or maybe like just cool different stories. Like, that's what we do. We want to tell stories. So watch a story with us in it because we're cool and fun. So yeah.
love that.
Yeah,
Get all up.
exactly.
Well said.
Did you want to say anything else, Ellie, before we wrap?
Just thank you so much for having us. And like I said, I've watched your interviews before, and I really feel like right now in the last couple of hours, I'm so in my thoughts now. There were so many like thought-provoking things that we talked about, and I'm just like, okay, cool. I'm glad we went there, and I'm glad we went there, and this was just a really good conversation. And right now I'm in Ohio taking a break from acting because as actors you do need like a week off here and there because it is so emotionally taxing. But this makes me really excited to go back to LA and do more verticals because yeah, I just love it so much, and I'm just excited to do more.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you both for joining me. Sydney, thank you for joining me again.
Thank you so
But
much.
this
I'm glad we
time,
got to chat face to face this
yeah.
time. Yeah. Oh.
And for
Absolutely.
you, Ellie, thank you also for joining. And I think this is gonna be an episode just with you two because it's so long.
It's so long. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I've got some good stuff though, guys.
Yeah, that's why I think I'm gonna separate like you two and Wendy's, or else it's gonna be, I think, a 3-hour video.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Love it.
No, but
Well, there's
thank
a
you,
lot.
girls. Oh, and also do
Yeah.
both have a very good rest of your day.
Oh, you too.
Yeah, have a good rest of your night. You're in the
Yeah.
I don't know what time it is there. Really late, right?
I think when we started, it was like 5 p.m. and 8.
Mm,
Oh, dang, it's probably
wow.
dark out now. Well, have a
Yeah,
good rest of your night.
it's super dark outside.
Wow.
Dang.
Well, yeah, get some rest, and thank you so much for interviewing us.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
Bye.
You're the best.
Bye.
Bye.